walked in feeling like I was in my cave again. I was hiding again. And I was like, well, I can't do this hiding. Like I promised myself, I promised others I wouldn't do it that way. I didn't. I came out of my cave.
And one of the questions said, what does a son look like? I couldn't answer that. I just put question mark.
This was my second sonship. I was not ready to do the first one. I kind of went along with this momentum of it. I loved the idea of it. But I ran. I mean, seriously, like literally left the building, ran.
So I went home that night, and my wife said, she goes, well, what did you think of it? I said, I don't like it. I don't understand it. Even a girl cussed in the house of God. And I don't want to go back. So I went back. But then as time went on and things happened, I mean, it is a raw time.
I didn't know anybody in it really besides my husband and Sherry, kind of. But it was just the safest landing place ever. And
I've been to concerts. I know what it sounds like to be singing with thousands of people. And I heard thousands of people here singing. And I was like, how can it be there's not even 1,000 people in here? Like, and he said clearly, it's because you're not in your cave. You can't hear properly inside your cave.
You know, when we allow ourselves to really walk in our fullness, it really empowers and frees other people to do the same.
Like every time I would raise my hands, I could literally feel my crown. And I put my hands down and I wouldn't feel it. And I was like, okay. And I put them back up. And I could actually feel it sitting on my head, and it actually tickled. Like,
I can't tell you how much mascara I've gone through, but this morning I'm still crying, and it is such a different, joyful cry. I can't even explain it.
We're ruined for anything less.
You don't really know how you're limiting someone else by limiting yourself.
And that's incredible to me, because when you have that many people in such a, with different walks of life and personalities in such a confined space like that, normally, by the end of it, you're just sick and tired of everybody. But it's the total opposite with this, where everybody was so much tighter and closer, and everybody just loved each other so much. And I think that's when it kind of clicked that that's where the heart of God is. That's how He feels. That's just a glimpse of what He wants and how He feels for us.
One thing I think they really need to do is do a disclaimer and say this will offend religious spirits.
For me, it was just learning how to really be the daughter I know that I am. I've said I'm a daughter for years. I know my identity. I have an identity prayer. I look at it a lot to remind myself who I am. But I wasn't sure I was fully walking that out. And so for me, this whole weekend was saying, I am a son, and this is how a son behaves, and this is how a son relates to his father.
And I actually, at one point, saw myself like take off like a rocket and flames shooting up. And I saw myself, I believe I saw myself the way He sees me for the first time.
You don't get pushed. This is not about pushing you to be who you are. It's letting you be who you are.